Home, home on the range. Actually, that's not the range we're talking about today. We're talking about vocal range, voiceover range. I'm glad you're here. Ho, ho, ho. Welcome to, yeah, 'tis the season. The first of 12 days of Christmas, which is actually, it's a voiceover training promotion. And I'm going to tell you very briefly what that is. And that is for each of the next 12 days, starting today, I've got 12 amazing training programs, which we normally sell for $400. That if you get it on its particular day of the 12 days, it's just $100. Actually, just 100 under $100, $97. Um, and also, it's not just my training. We've got training from different partners that we work with, and it's just if you're looking to build your voiceover training library with some really in-depth training, this is really good stuff. There's a link below in the description, so check that out. By the way, forgive me, I was so rude. Didn't even introduce myself. I'm Bill DeWeese. I am a full-time professional voiceover talent. I've been doing this for 18 years, recording for everybody. I mean, literally everybody. I've got I mean everything from Disney and Walmart and United Airlines and the PGA Tour, CBS, to small and medium-sized companies all over the world. It's global business, which is one, and that's a whole topic in and of itself. It's an exciting thing to do. I love to do it. I'm also a voiceover coach, and I'm an author, written a couple of books on voiceover. Here's the really your roadmap where to get started, get paid using your voice, get found, get heard, get hired. There's a link below to this in the description, so be sure to check that out. And today, let's talk about range. I don't know that I've really ever addressed this. I have made 1,300 videos, and I don't know that I've talked about in and around it, but I don't know that I've talked about it specifically as a topic. And it's the reason I was thinking about it this morning because it's one of the compliments that I get most often from a client after listening to my work will be like, for instance, if I'm posting a video or somebody hears my demo, they'll almost I get a lot of comments that say, "Wow, you really have a broad range." You all have a broad range. What you don't know how to do, maybe you do, maybe you've done this long enough, maybe you figured this out. But what most people struggle with is expressing that range behind the microphone. As human beings, we are dynamic. We are in different contexts all day. People that we're with, the places that we're with, or the places that we're at, the emotions that we experience, and we express all of those very differently. One day you might be communicating in barely soft whispers. The next day you may be, at a football game screaming your lungs out. We experience a broad range. The challenge is getting behind the microphone and bringing our real life experiences into that. And one thing I always tell my voiceover students, I preach this, and I'm sure many of you guys who are in my program, the Voiceover Blueprint, probably get tired of hearing me saying it, but it's so true. And that is, you have to make every script personal, because if you don't, you can't bring the range in. So what I want to do this morning is this. There's the biggest component of a voiceover delivery is the emotion that you bring to it, what you feel. You've heard me talk about that before. That's not what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about the physicality of delivering a broad range. When I'm working with a student one-on-one to do performance coaching, typically the first place I will begin is I want them to experience the extreme ends of the continuum of voiceover range. And I want you to keep this in mind, because I think if you're thinking about this, it will really help you to begin to stretch and develop your range, to be able to express yourself more like you do in everyday life, which is really, the goal of being a good voiceover talent. It begins on one end. Let's go to on the far end, the extreme end in terms of physicality, and that is pure, utter joy, happiness, and excitement. I want you to think about a time in your life when you've just become unglued. Or better yet, let me give you a scenario that you probably never have experienced, but would love to, and that's winning the Powerball. Can you imagine winning $1 billion? Can you even imagine how you would respond if you won $1 billion? If you were a student in front of me right now, I would want you to act that out for me. I would want you to jump up and down. I would want you to yell and scream. I want to see tears of joy. That's the extreme end. And what happens when we get excited, usually physically, there's a lot of tension. The eyes get wide open, the eyebrows go up. We use our body to communicate. We use our hands, and you might shout, you might scream. That's the far end. And there will be times when you'll receive voiceover scripts that may require you to go to that very far extreme. So that's something that you can practice. But what about the other end of that continuum? The other is where you get smaller, get softer, and get lower. Now, most people, when they think about lowering their voice, they think about pushing their voice down into this kind of false bass. And that's not a false bass, or a falsetto are not the ways to book voiceover work. You stay in your own voice, but you relax. And this is a good practice drill for you. Read a script and feel your body relax, your head, your jaw, your neck, your chest, your shoulders. Just gradually relax. Allow your voice to go to the back of your throat. Don't get physical. Don't tense and push from your diaphragm. Just allow your voice to relax and go deeper and deeper and deeper and softer. My voice never will go, this is my lowest in my natural voice. But it's hard for people to do that behind a microphone, because there's this subconscious drive to perform. Things get tense. And you start, even if I ask somebody to whisper, usually they'll whisper like this because they're afraid they won't be heard by the microphone. If they don't push it, don't push. Practice speaking completely relaxed. And you'll probably have to work at this. It doesn't happen in a day, but practice it every day. Let your voice get softer and softer and softer and softer. And practice reading voiceover scripts. There will be times when you'll be reading things, like for me, I do a lot of healthcare. When I'm doing a hospital commercial, that's a very common way for me to deliver a healthcare commercial, because I need to have a bedside manner. I need to show that I care, that I'm compassionate. And you don't do that by getting loud in somebody's face. Again, these extremes, these are the hardest to master. So practice those, the completely low, slow, and relaxed, to the utterly out of your mind screaming, really loud, really excited, high pitched. Everything else falls in between. It's a matter of degrees. So then it becomes just a matter of matching where you need to be on that scale from low to high with the script that you're doing. Of course, emotions that drives this. But if you can physically right, it's a lot easier to do the emotion, because this is someone I'm working with a student. We usually have to work at this pretty hard, because again, in your head, it sounds, you think, well, I'm being really excited, but if you were to record it, it doesn't sound all that excited. You may think that you're whispering, or just above a whisper, and it's very soft and it's intimate and it's close. But you listen back to it and you realize, no, it's not, because we don't hear ourselves the way the other people hear us. So if you want to develop your vocal range, that's the exercise. Just think of that continuum from low, slow, soft, and relaxed, to tense, excited, big, loud, and over the top. Practice those two extremes. It will do wonders in helping you to expand your range. And so what's the benefit of that? Well, obviously you win more auditions, no doubt. I mean, I'm winning auditions now that I never would have dreamt of winning back when in the earlier years of my voiceover career. But it makes you more valuable to your current client. You need to have utility when you're working with a client, meaning if you're too narrowly pigeonholed or niched, and you're working with a client that does a lot of different work, they're going to go out looking for other people to do other jobs that you could easily do for them if you had range. So it's a good way to develop more business with the current clients that you have. So range, it's important, and I don't know why I haven't really dedicated. And if I had talked about it in years past, I don't remember specifically doing that. So I hope you find this helpful, because developing range is, from a voiceover performance standpoint, it's one of the most important things that you can do. Have you gone down below in the description, by the way, and click the link to check out the first day of Christmas? Let me mention that again, because I'm really excited. We've been working really hard on this. And I made little videos wearing a Santa hat and everything. I mean, you don't want to miss out on those Oscar-winning performances. Again, demonstrating my range. So, so check it out. Link below. Let's see who's on the live chat. If you haven't yet, make sure you check in and just let me know where you're watching and listening from this morning. We're at 95 viewers, listeners this morning, and half of you have already liked the video. So thank you for that. Remember, when you click that thumbs up button, YouTube will automatically share this video with more people who are looking for this information. Help others, grow their voiceover businesses and careers by taking just a second of your time to click the like button. Good morning, Paul in Arkansas, Bob in Wadsworth, Ohio, Nephi in Knoxville, Johnny, what's going on in Cambridge, UK? Hey, Mary, how are you doing in New Jersey? Rusty, what's going on up here in the Upper Peninsula of the Mitten? Is that right? Is that looks like something like that? Ron, good morning to you in Grand Haven, Michigan. 349 schools and other closings. Highways are parking lots. No kid, I did not realize that. Wow. We get a bit of snow here in the Chicago area yesterday, but I didn't realize you guys got slammed. Wow. Stay safe, stay warm. Jason in Kearney, Nebraska. Nancy, what's going on in Yankton, South Dakota? John in Denver. Hey, Becky, how are you? After almost 5 years in VO, I'm still learning all the different tones, so many, and some are fun. From the bitter cold Mitten. Yeah, Becky, you're doing great. Keep up the great work. Becky, one of the students in my VoiceOver Blueprint program. Eddie, what's going on in San Antonio? Tim, good morning to you in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Colin in Houston. Kathleen in Wyoming. John in the state of New York. We've got Don from South Africa saying hello. Let's see here. Oh, and by the way, tomorrow's Q&A. Well, I'm thinking about it. Some people have been asking me, like, when can I ask a question? Tomorrow, I'll take some questions on the Q&A Fridays. That's what we do on Fridays. So bring those with you tomorrow. Let's see. M.E. in Phoenix. Edward, how you doing? Ethan in Toronto. Zach in Fargo, North Carolina. GS in Longview. Kirk checking in from South Carolina. Dr. Bob, thanks for the Upwork training earlier this week. Very helpful. And that Upwork training is available through tomorrow night. So don't miss out on that. David, what's going on in Hamilton, Ontario? Joe in the UK, Denise on Long Island, Aaron, Columbia, Missouri, Riley, Texas, Aaron in the state of Washington, Drew in Toronto, Marla, Texas, Doug in North Carolina, Wayne, and also from the great state of Washington, Amisha in Florence, South Carolina. Oh, get another Buckeye checking in from the great state of Ohio. Wonderful. Let's see here. Good morning from Wise, Virginia. Larry says, morning, Bill. It's always nice to be waiting for Bill DeWeese instead of trying to play catch up. Hey, Brett, what's going on in sunny Tulsa? Alex, good morning to you in Utah. Andrew in Latvia. Marla says, love those Christmas lights and love your book. Thank you, Marla. Appreciate that. By the way, Vicky finished getting all the lights up like yesterday and last night, actually. So the Christmas tree, the outside lights are looking wonderful. Wonderful. Matthew, it's cold outside in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Jerry in Dallas. To Carlos, good morning to you in Las Vegas. Encouraging everybody to smash that like button. Oh, you guys are doing it too. Thank you for that. Joy, good morning from sunny but freezing with snowed over Southfield, Michigan. Phil in Tokyo. Lawless says, have a strong day from the Washington, D.C. Rich. Thank you, Rich. Hey, Chris, what's going on in Washington, D.C.? Andrew, will each day be a different deal in 12 days of Christmas? Yes, Andrew, it's 12 days, 12 deals, 12 different training programs. So make sure that you come back and check out each day what's going on, because I'm sure you're going to find something, maybe a few things that you want to add to your training library. Dale says, hi, Bill. I started imitating existing characters when I was 10 years old and have developed your range. Fantastic. I love that, Dale. Jerry, growing up around the world, I have this fake accent that pops up when I get excited. Does this count as range? Yeah, absolutely. Everything counts as range. Spencer, good morning to you in Houston. Jeff in Roswell, New Mexico. Professor Tracy in Rochester, Minnesota. Andrew and Devin in the UK. Good to see you, Andrew. Terry, good to see you from Chili Falston, Maryland. Sandra in Dallas, Fort Worth. Morning from Albuquerque. Cliff says, I think this is an adjunct to adjusting to the wind when you talked about flying with the wind. Altitude of an airplane makes us adjust to the change in cabin pressure. There we go. That's good, Cliff. Thank you for that. Marcus says, mentally, you own the words of script. Do not let the script You owe the script. Don't let the script owe you. Understand the freedom that attitude gives you. Good morning. It's Yolanda in Las Vegas. I got my first offer yesterday on ACX. Oh my gosh, Yolanda. That is the sweet sound of voiceover success right there. Congrats. That's wonderful. It means more great stuff is on the way for you. I love it. Loretta, let's see. Tuesday night was so helpful. Thank you, Loretta. Again, that was Caleb Brick's Upwork class. Still available through tomorrow night. Daisha in Buffalo, New York. JR in Austin. Happy Thursday. Corey in Whitehall, Wisconsin. It's Kirsten in Georgia. Jason, LOL. Bill says, I'm not an acting coach, then proceeds to explain a portion of the Stanislavski method of acting. Oh, I did not know that, Jason. That actually makes me feel good. At least, I mean, I'm just explaining to you how I approach it, but maybe there's some verifiable data there that shows that this stuff actually works, right? Besides just me. Patrick says, good morning to you in Maryland. Theo says, good morning to all from lovely Palos Hills, where I'm looking out the window, seeing only 9 degrees of temperature, but it's nice and warm right here in the VO huddle. Yes, it is, Theo. Good to see you. Me, what's going on? Jim in Northeast Indiana. John, good morning. Joe Lee says, I love doing character work. People can't believe that it's me, which is fun. John says, excellent advice. David with a good morning from Gardner, Kansas, off to Ohio, headed back to Canal Winchester to see family. Thanks to you, Bill, for all you do. Hey, and say hello to all my friends back there in the Canal Winchester, Columbus, Lancaster, Ohio area. John in Bradenton, Florida. Tanya, good morning. Mike in Toronto. John, South Carolina. Loretta in Crete, Illinois. Ken in Woodstock, Georgia. James, how you doing? Thank you, James. You're welcome. Tanya in South Philly. It's Keith in Renton, Washington. Wade in Philadelphia. And it's Stephen from Atlanta. All right. Stephen, yeah, just click the link and you can get all that information on the Upwork class. And if you have any difficulty, just always, you can always reach out to support, which is training@BillDeweese.com, training@BillDeweese.com. Thanks, guys, for being here. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Stay warm. Hire some young kid to shovel your walk in your driveway today. That's my advice for you today. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.